Oh yeah, your boy's been gone for a little while, but I have returned. A few little health issues here and there, but here we are once again. Your source for the World of Warcraft news is back. So let's get into it. Visit the Black Market Auction House. Yes, if you are a Black Market Auction House fan, it will be back for the 20th anniversary event, having an actual vendor at the event hub. So you won't have to go anywhere else. You can just find your Black Market Auction House items right there at the live event. Now, some of the items coming back are actually some very interesting old items from previously unlockable content now that it's, coming back for the anniversary event. So things like the Royal Witch Doctor's trophies, some things that were previously available and locked behind, bars that were no longer allowed to be had, are now coming back. Now, there were some fair warnings out there that, these prices will be set by NPCs. So if you want things prior to this happening, it might be cheaper to afford them now on the current Black Auction House, but who knows? Maybe some very interesting items show up, maybe. A Spectral Tiger or two? I don't know, maybe a Long Boy? Who knows? But yeah, Black Market Auction House will be available for the event, so go check it out once that thing does go live. The Dark Ranger Generals Ensemble is also something that we've already talked about that is going to show up for the 20th anniversary event. But here's the thing, it's actually a lot more intricate than people were first realizing. There are 13 different pieces that can be worn here. Different versions of the cape, different versions of the quiver that will be swappable, even different versions of the chest and stuff. So other iterations of Sylvanas you can see here, a little bit more skin, a little bit less skin. A bunch of different ways to wear this thing will be available to everybody, both male and female. So your favorite Sylvanas look might be available even if you didn't first see it in the first iterations of this coming out. So excited for all these Sylvanas fans out there. Speaking of Mythic Plus, it's in full swing, and people were ready to do the Siege of Borealis skip. If you played Alliance Black and Battle for Azeroth, you know about the skip. You jump down on the little boat, you do the little thing, and you can go ahead and get past a few little mobs here. Well, now that skip teleports you straight out the dungeon. That's right, Blizzard ain't playing no games. You ain't gonna be skipping shit here. So don't try it. You will break your key, essentially, leaving the dungeon. You'll have to come back in. Yeah, that little jump on the little paddle boat here, don't do it anymore. It's going to port you out of the dungeon. Hey, it was fun while it lasted, but I did figure that was going to eventually get kicked out. Mythic Plus Dungeons to Time, the easiest. So here we go, a little quick list. These aren't just the ones that you should only be doing. Don't be such a little, tier bitch Andy and only do the S tier dungeons. They're all, decent this time around, but there are some that are a little bit quicker than others. So here they are. The tier list for basically the fastest and easiest dungeons to do right now in Mythic Plus. Arakara's S tier, Miss Citrana's Scythe S tier. I actually did this one, yeah, pretty easy. Dawnbreaker A tier, also did that. I actually thought Dawnbreaker wasn't too bad at all, except for the flying down from the Dawnbreaker part and killing. Some people still don't know exactly where to go and what to kill in terms of little mini bosses. But once people get a little bit more used to it, I think Dawnbreaker will actually move up to S tier. Grim Patrol is considered B, Stone Vault C, Siege of Borealis C, and then we got City of Threads and then Necrotic Wake as the hardest dungeons. Now again, this doesn't mean that they're not doable or you shouldn't be doing them, or whatever key you get, just freaking do it. But when you're looking around for that last second easy dungeon to do, hey, maybe pick up an Arakara or a Miss Tyrannis Scythe. Those might be the two easiest to get done. Now, for delves, what are the fastest delves to do? I personally have been enjoying delves a lot, actually, this week, and one of the reasons why I think delves are a great addition to the game is, with all the stuff going on outside of WoW, I just didn't have a lot of time to play. But when things finally settled down, I was like, man, I gotta fill my vault quickly. What can I do? Bam! 2 tier 8 delves, back to back, easy stuff, easy way to fill the vault, and quickly get things done. But what are the easiest of those delves? Well, WoWHead put together a little list of what they figure could be the easiest delves to get done quickly. Their first recommendation is the Spiral Weave, which I agree with. The Spiral Weave to me is one of the easiest ones. Overall, it's a very quick delve, however, incredibly fast if you have the Strange Disturbances story available. Also known as the Puppet story, this story only has one long step to release all 8 captives, and then the final boss. Oh, so that's a quick little skip of one of the steps there, so that's a nice way to get it done. The Sinkhole, also considered to be easy. Another great option is the Sinkhole, located in Hallowfall. All the stories from this delve are pretty fast and straightforward. And then Tak-Arathan, the Abyss. Our final suggestion in here is the Kobe's Abyss. Tak-Arathan, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. The delve is another quick option located in Ashkahet on the outskirts of the City of Thread. Similarly, the Sinkhole is the largest threat will be the necrotic bolts. Oh yeah, the explosive boys. Yeah, make sure you interrupt those for sure. Yeah, these ones are all easy. Honestly, none of the delves I feel like have taken that long. But yeah, if you want to get a quickie in to rank 8, those might be the 3 that you want to get done quickest. Don't forget doing your delves. You can always get the nice little mount. The Glory of the Delver achievement will give you the Ivory Goliathus, of course. The Glory of the Delver achievement, by the way, you got to complete at least one on tier 8 and then do these achievements in the other delves. There's a few for each. And yeah, it gives you the albino beetle. I mean, it's not a bad looking mount, honestly. I've already started getting some of these achievements by accident. So if you're doing delves, you're probably going to eventually get this thing. The Vanitas Rune, we're talking about rating a little bit here. Yeah, the Vanitas Rune is actually buffed. Yeah, if you've been doing it lately, I remember our first run, nobody was getting nobody cared about the Vanitas Rune. It's only a 1% damage buff. Well, Blizzard doubled the amount of versatility it gives, so now it gives about a 2.4% damage increase at max rank. So the Vanitas Rune, a little bit more worth it than it was previously to get done, so go ahead and get that done if you haven't. Race to World First in full effect, and here we go. The Silken Court has been downed by Liquid. That's the first kill of the Silken Court. We all know this, just running this dungeon ourselves, whether you're doing it on normal or heroic. The Silken Court really is that wall boss, right? It's kind of like T-Swift was previously in the last raid tier. It is a bit tougher, has some extra mechanics, some things that people really got to get down. A few maybe DPS checks here and there, some healing checks as well. So yeah, it's a harder boss, so seeing Liquid get it down, that's good for them, and that means they're moving on to the final boss, the Princess. That's right. They single-tanked Court and Princess. Yeah, I heard there's some hotfixes in, though, for that, so it won't be able to be done. Looks like 2 tanks are going to be required from here on out. But yes, I did hear about the single-tanking stuff. And Race to World First here, it looks like they're on the final boss, so that'll be interesting to see who wins it at the end. What I'm looking at here is your Mythic Raid DPS charts. The Mythic Raid DPS charts are out. We got Mythic Raiding in full swing, and it's time to look at who the winners and the losers are of the raid. So we got overall DPS here. The Furries. You know, Blizzard's been showing them a lot of love, and here they are. Furry Warrior at the very top. Unholy DK and Frost DK just behind them, the 2 best classes in the game along with Blood. And then we got Havoc Demon Hunter, Elemental Shaman, Enhancement Shaman. We are in the age of the Shaman. I've been saying it for quite a while. It looks like the Shamans have finally gotten the love they deserve. I've been saying they just need a tanking spec. Just give them a tanking spec. All right, Blizzard, and we'll finally be in the true golden era of Shamans. Arcane Mage, Devastation Evoker, Demo Warlock, Fire Mage. So looking here, we got a mix of mages, warriors, and warlocks. We got Devastation Evoker up there. Looking at the bottom, Augie always there. It's not easy to track. Ass Rogue, Outlaw Rogue, and Sub-Titty Rogue all at the bottom. Look at that. All the lower half. So Rogue hurting a little bit. Maybe some buffs coming their way soon. Let's look at strictly boss damage. And here we go. Beast Mastery Hunter at the very top. We've been seeing Beast Mastery pumping some big numbers lately. Arcane Mage had some nerfs lately, but still one of the best DPS specs in the game right now. Enhancement Shaman, as I said, Shamans have been doing really, really good. Arms Warrior, Unholy DK, Affliction Warlock, Ass Rogue. So even though Rogues are hurting a little bit, it looks like Ass still doing pretty good in terms of single target, having him on bosses and everything else. Like him ignoring chat? I'm not ignoring chat, I promise you, but we got to get through the damage charts. I mean, look at these things. Look at the rogues. I got to put out a little reminder to them. Hey, maybe you change some things. Maybe you make sure we fix some things here, Blizzard, and get some of these sub-titties back up here. Destro Warlock sitting in the middle. Fire Mage, Frost Mage down here. Obviously, Fire is actually getting some buffs. We're going to talk a little bit about these. There's some class buffs going out in today's reset, so we want to check those out and see maybe how they'll affect the chart going forward. The biggest movers up and down, some massive movers. Unholy DK up 11 spots. Havoc up 12 spots. Fire Mage up 16, as I said, nice little buff going out for them. And then we got Sub-Titty down 15, that's the biggest mover down, and so is Outlaw Rogue down 16 spots. So these charts will move a lot, especially early in the season. We'll be seeing up and down things, so we'll have to wait and see how every week goes through. We'll look at this probably every week going forward. And then finally here, we have the buffs and the nerfs and everything else that I was talking about earlier. It looks like Fire Mage is going to get a little bit of love, and so are Feral Druids. So let's check this out. Rampant Ferocity now damages enemies within 8 yards of the Druid rather than the 8 yards of the target. So that's pretty good. A nice quality of life change there. Not much change in terms of DPS, but that is good for druids. I feel like that's easier to track. For Death Knight, Rider of the Apocalypse, Tollbane's Ice Fury slows target by 40%, was 70, so a bit of a nerf there. For druids, again, healing increased by 4% across the board, so that's good for druid healers getting in and healing up those raids. Nice to see they're going to be doing a little bit more. Beast Mastery Hunter. I don't even know what kind of class that is. Beast Cleave damage increased by 90%, was 80. And Kill Cleave increases damage by 90%, was 80. So nice little buff there for Beast Mastery Hunter, who we just saw is already top of the DPS charts in terms of single target. Fire Mage increases across the board by 15%, 20%, and 10% to Flame Strike, Phoenix Flame, and Living Bomb. And then Frost, Glacial Spike damage increased by 20%, and Ray of Frost damage increased by 15%. So Fire and Frost getting a little bit of love. We both know Arcane is currently sitting at the very top in terms of what the best spec is for mages right now. But Fire is coming up from behind. And then finally, Shadow Priest, all damage increased by 4%. A nice little buff there for Shadow Priest. And last but not least, some very important news. Oh my god, that knock. That knock just scared the living crap out of me. Thank you, Bernie, for that. Last but not least, as I said, look at that. Look at it. Yeah, you want to get yourself some nice little, what are these, like weird-looking toony Funko Pops? I've never heard of these before. U2s are coming out with some different Warcraft characters, Illyria, Anduin, and Thrall. You can get them off the U2's website. I had no idea these even existed, but here they are. They do have some cool paint on them that really makes them look animated. Some nice little action figures. Go ahead and get them if you want them. And that is all in terms of news.